But tonight we want to take a little bit of a step back and talk about this from the very specific perspective of what this means for your wallet and for business. How does this impact your bottom line, the stock market, and so on? So tonight we're going to bring in Parag Amin. He is a business analyst. This is his wheelhouse, so he'll be able to break this down for us. Parag, thanks for being with us tonight. We do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So everybody's talking about the military implications of this, widening conflict. Everybody is talking about what it means for us sending servicemen and women overseas. I want to talk about what this means in terms of business, which obviously is a very big umbrella, but it has real world implications for people here in the United States. So when I say, what is the business impact of these strikes? What's the first thing that comes to your head?
Well, the first thing that comes to my head is the fact that we have higher prices. I mean, of course, we're thankful for all the military men and women who are overseas fighting on our behalf. And for us here at home, regardless of what happens there, because of the uncertainty, we are looking at realistically higher prices on top of the tariffs because of the fact that this uncertainty in the Middle East increases the price of oil. And oil in that region, the nations that are involved in this conflict, they produce about 30% of the world's oil. And then on top of that, the Strait of Hormuz, which is right off the coast of Iran, is where approximately 20 to 30% of the world's oil has to flow through in order to get to other countries. And so the challenges in that area are creating a lot of problem for the flow of oil, which is therefore increasing prices for all kinds of things that rely on oil.
Yeah, I think that's really important to mention. It's not just the gasoline that you fill your car with. I mean, we know that in the United States, much of our oil, or a lot of our oil, is from North America. It's not only from the Middle East. But to your point, it affects the airlines. It affects trucking and shipping and manufacturing and all of the kinds of things that essentially make life possible for those of us here in the United States and around the world.
That's exactly it. A lot of people don't realize that oil is used in everything from not just your car, but also your clothes, your phone, even in medicine. There are derivatives that come from oil that are used in all of these things. So it touches on all aspects of your daily life. And so with the increasing price of oil, you're also looking at higher prices across the board, not just for transportation, but also for manufacturing and shipping, as well as providing energy.
Does it also affect construction of homes and things like that in terms of, goods and supplies?
Absolutely, because you've got to remember that not most supplies don't come from one place. And so you've got to ship those supplies in. So there's an aspect of the shipping that increases. You've also got to look at the fact that depending on where those supplies are being routed from, they may need to be rerouted to avoid the conflict areas. You've also got to consider that conflicts also require a lot of resources, including the same types of things that are used many times in aspects of construction. And so you've got increasing demand and sometimes limitations on supply, which can also drive up the cost. And so you're realistically looking at higher costs of construction as well as other aspects of daily life, such as heating and transportation.
Yeah, the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this was plastic. And so, yeah, of course, there are so many different areas of industry that are impacted by this. And of course, then that sort of dovetails into what's happening in the stock market, right?
That's right, because the stock market really likes predictability, it likes certainty, and it likes growth. And what the stock market really does not like is uncertainty when it comes to negative outcomes. And that's what we're looking at here with this conflict. We've got no clear idea about when the end will be in sight. Is this going to last for weeks, potentially months, or even sometimes, as we've seen in the past, years as it relates to conflicts in the Middle East? And so everybody is very hesitant about what is going to happen. And unfortunately, that also causes a slowdown in the economy, because good economies really rely on people spending money, and people have to feel confident and positive about the economy and their ability to make more money to be able to continue to make a living. That doesn't really occur when you've got this kind of uncertainty. People tend to tighten up. They tend to get nervous about spending money. as well as money not going as far because prices increase across the board on all kinds of things, which makes it much more difficult to budget and avoid certain things because the price might be higher across the board, not just for one item such as gasoline.
Yeah, and I mean, this just couldn't come at a worse time. I mean, Americans are already struggling. We're already complaining about the cost of goods and services. We're already dealing with inflation. All these things are already on our plate. And if I remember correctly, I mean, I don't want to misquote, but if I remember correctly, just thinking back to the last jobs report and reports on inflation, it seemed like things were improving. So to kind of in a situation where you take two steps forward, one step back, this is not what Americans need right now.
That's right. It's absolutely not what Americans need, and unfortunately, inflation is still slightly higher than what the target rate would be, and so this certainly does not help. And with average everyday Americans, I mean, these percentage increases don't mean a whole lot when it's very challenging to just make a daily living. And so when we're talking about the world economy or the cost of construction, I know that a lot of people are just struggling to make ends meet, to be able to buy groceries and other things, to be able to support their family. So it is a very challenging time, which is compounded not just with this conflict, but with tariffs and other aspects of the general economy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Parag, we'll leave it there for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your perspective on this.
Thank you.